The Duggar family, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, was the subject of the documentary Counting On, and their massive brood was the reason for that. Jim and Michelle welcomed 19 children into the world between 1988 and 2009. The alleged death of Josie Duggar has been in the headlines lately. We wanted to give you the most recent information about Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, as the Duggar family is once again in the news. Jim Bob Duggar has played a number of roles throughout his life, including that of a reality TV celebrity. He is currently a registered real estate agent and was a Republican in the Arkansas House of Representatives. He exchanged vows with Michelle Ruark in 1984. One was 19 and the other was 17. Michelle talked about their love story and how they met throughout the broadcast. She claimed that Jim Bob visited her home as a representative of his church's Bible outreach program. She had recently celebrated her 15th birthday. However, they started dating a year later after Michelle started working at his parents' frozen yogurt shop. When Michelle recalled that Jim Bob had asked her out, she said, later, because they are both ardent Baptists, they grew close over the Bible and would discuss it for hours on end. Since then, Michelle says, their hearts have been tied together. She disclosed that Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar are parents to 19 children. After getting married in 1984, they postponed starting a family for some time. Josh, the delighted couple's son, was born in 1988, marking their first parenthood. Between that time and 2009, they had 18 more children, a total of 10 men and 9 women. Among their many children, there have been 2 sets of identical twins. That brings Michelle Duggar's total number of pregnancies to 17. It's fascinating to note that all of their children's names start with J. According to Jim Bob and Michelle, they decided against using birth control because they wanted to give God authority over the number of their family and because they trust Him. The Duggar family also homeschooled all of their children and limited them access to televisions. They also regularly discuss faith, humility, and family values on their Counting On show. Between 2008 and 2015, the years the show focused on, the Duggar family had 3 marriages, 2 children, and 4 grandchildren. Their youngest child, Josie, was born with health problems and prematurely. Her parents were quite open about her health issues, and she spent 6 months in critical care as a baby. Jim Bob and Michelle live on the Duggar property, which is made up of numerous homes. They were given permission to leave the compound when each of their children turned 18. Some did leave the complex, while others stayed. Some of the children remain aloof from the couple when it comes to their relationship. Jim Bob and Michelle have avoided their oldest son Josh since he was arrested on serious charges of engaging in inappropriate behavior with children. Furthermore, their daughter Jill and her husband Derek have broken off their relationship with Jill's parents because of control issues. Jill has often stated that she had to begin therapy primarily because of her family. Despite the tense relationship between Jill and her parents, she is occasionally spotted talking to them. Their other daughter, Jinger, stated in an interview with People that she was raised in fear and that she has also distanced herself from her conservative parent upbringing. In addition to Jim Bob and his 2 children, Jim Bob's niece Amy, who appears on the show as Cousin Amy, has developed into a vocal opponent of her uncle's lifestyle and family dynamics. Due to their big family and distinctive way of life, which emphasizes traditional values, faith, and a strong feeling of community, the Duggar family has become well known. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, the delighted parents of 19 children, including their youngest, Josie Duggar, are among the most well-known members of this family. From a youthful marriage to having 19 children, their experience is truly remarkable. Let's examine Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's amazing journey, their foundation, and their life as parents to 19 children in more detail. Early life. A teenage matrimony. Michelle Ruark and Jim Bob Duggar bonded instantly after they initially met in the early 1980s. Because of their Christian upbringings, Jim Bob and Michelle had different outlooks on life and family. Their decisions were greatly influenced by their common faith, especially in regards to marriage and relationships. Following a brief courtship, the 2 became engaged and were married in 1984 while still in their teens. Michelle was 18 and Jim Bob was 19. Their marriage was unusual at the time in many respects. Jim Bob and Michelle were focused on creating a life together based on their shared values, when many young couples were still seeking college or starting employment. Their strong Christian beliefs, which placed a high value on marriage and having children at a young age, served as the foundation for their choice. Homeschooling, which Jim Bob and Michelle adopted for their kids, has been frequently linked to the Duggar family. They desired to raise their kids in a setting that would foster their beliefs and teach them the importance of hard work and family. A life of faith-based choices and a dedication to raising a big, close-knit family began with their marriage. The choice to have a large family. The Duggars' religious convictions played a role in their decision to have a big family. Jim Bob and Michelle have often talked about how their religious beliefs and their knowledge of the Bible made them feel that having children was both a blessing and a duty. Actually, having 19 children was not their original objective. Their strategy was based on the notion of having faith in God's plan and being willing to have as many children as He saw appropriate. Following the 1988 birth of their first child, Joshua, they soon started having children one after the other. The family enjoyed every new pregnancy and child, but there were difficulties as well. The Duggars had to deal with health issues, financial limitations, and the challenges of having a big family. Nevertheless, they consistently faced these challenges with tenacity and a strong faith in God's providence. Jim Bob and Michelle had 19 children during their marriage, each with their own distinct personality but all with a close familial connection. The difficulties that come with having such a big family were never avoided by the couple. They came up with innovative ways to make their big family function, from homeschooling to handling money. Additionally, they made sure that their ideals were transmitted from one generation to the next by being devoted to their children's emotional and spiritual development. Josie Duggar, the baby who made miracles. The tale of Josie, the youngest of the Duggar family's children, is among the most heartwarming. In many ways, Josie's birth was a miracle. Michelle Duggar became pregnant with twins out of the blue after 18 pregnancies, and deliveries went well. In December 2009, Josie was born prematurely at 25 weeks gestation, and sadly, one of the babies did not make it. Josie weighed only 1 pound, 6 ounces, making it seem improbable that she would live. But her family and medical team made every effort to keep her alive. Despite all odds, Josie survived and got stronger every day while she was in the hospital's neonatal intensive care unit NICU for several months. The family grew closer as a result of Michelle's early delivery, helping her get through one of the most trying periods of her life. A major part in the Duggar family's history, Josie's survival was seen as a miracle. Her birth demonstrated the family's tenacity, unshakable faith, and commitment to one another. Josie has grown to be a cherished family member, and her early years have been chronicled on a number of platforms. For the Duggar family and their supporters, her survival has come to represent hope and faith, and her story serves as a reminder that miracles can occur even in the most trying situations. The difficulties and successes of the Duggar family. It's not easy to raise 19 kids, and Jim Bob and Michelle have had their share of difficulties over the years. There have been times of personal hardship, such as the family's involvement in public scandals, in addition to financial limitations and health issues. Joshua Duggar, the Duggars' eldest son, was at the heart of a widely reported scandal in 2015 after he was accused of assaulting multiple young females, including some of his sisters, while still a teenager. This disclosure damaged the family's reputation and resulted in a large decline in public trust. The Duggars have stayed committed to their faith and family in spite of these difficulties. Michelle and Jim Bob have always emphasized the value of grace, forgiveness, and healing. As a family, they have overcome the challenging times by highlighting the need of atonement and beginning afresh. Even though they have faced challenges along the way, their dedication to their family and faith has not wavered. Apart from their emotional challenges, the Duggars have also had to deal with financial difficulties. It takes a lot of time, money, and resources to raise a large family. The family has worked hard to live a thrifty lifestyle, looking for ways to cut costs while yet giving their child the finest care and education possible. They have frequently turned to their faith for support during difficult times and to help them overcome obstacles. A tradition of family and religion. Many people have been impacted by the inspirational path of the Duggar family. The family has evolved into what it is now thanks to Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's unshakable dedication to their beliefs, their kids, and their principles. A legacy that will be carried down through the years has resulted from their choice to marry young, have a big family, and live a life centered around their Christian values. The Duggars continue to show that a life of faith and family can overcome hardship in spite of the difficulties they have encountered. Josie and their other children are brought up with strong morals and an appreciation for the value of love, support, and community. The tale of the Duggar family is one of tenacity, optimism, and the strength of familial bonds. Without a doubt, Josie Duggar will continue her parents' heritage as she grows up in this setting. Josie's tale is only one part of the amazing journey of the Duggar family, whether it is through her own spiritual journey or the teachings she learns from her siblings.